So there's only two things that'll keep you out of raids and Mythic Plus and Ascension WoW. It's your gear and your build. I already covered how to get some really good gear. If you need advice on that, there's a video on my channel on how to do it. And today I'm going to be covering the legacy of the Arcanist build, Arcanist, however you say it. This build does lots of AoE, lots of single target damage, and even if you already run a LOTA build, you should watch just in case yours is outdated. If you have Shadow Flame, it's probably pretty outdated. There's going to be timestamps on the screen so you guys can jump around and go to wherever you want to go. In the background right now, I'm doing a DPS test in full 134 Black Temple 5/5 set with like mostly 134 off pieces, and you can see I'm pulling 60k DPS, and I'm just yapping and spamming the one button. So it's a really fun, easy build, beginner friendly, and it does numbers. Alright, so we hit 55k on the AoE dummies. We're going to check how much DPS we can do single target with this build, and it's honestly probably better than you think it is. It's also definitely worth mentioning that I am in suboptimal gear. Like, I'm not very geared. This build is definitely capable of doing way more damage, especially with like some of the best in slot gear set bonuses that give you tons of extra percent damage or AoE procs. And then also when you're in a group or a raid, you could expect to have many more buffs. I'm not enchanted, I'm not gemmed, I'm not buffed. I don't have like buffs from food or consumables like flasks or potions or anything like that. So in the end game, this build is definitely capable of achieving like 100k AoE DPS and probably like 30 to 40k single target DPS. So there's definitely tons of room to improve this build. This is just to help you guys get into raiding and get into Mythic Plus. Alright, so you can see we sustained over 20,000 single target damage for a minute there. I probably could have did like 22 or 23, but I wasn't really paying attention to my debuffs up here, and I missed a couple meteors. I'll explain that more in detail in like the rotation section of the video. But yeah, you can see it has very good AoE and very good single target. So to set this build up, you're going to want to hit N to open your character advancement screen. You're going to click Hero Architect here at the bottom, and then I'm already on the build, so we'll go to what you'll look at. You'll see something like this. You'll click PvE, and then up here, we're going to let it load.
1 hour later.
Up here, you're going to type in Return to Monkey, and it's this one by Look 6 days ago as of uploading this video on February 16th. You can click here. It'll ask you if you want to activate the build. Just go ahead and activate it, and if you scroll down here, you'll see all of the things that you need as far as mystic enchants. I'm gonna cover the rest of the stuff that's not necessarily in the guide, like macros and stuff, here in a second. When setting up your action bars for this, you're really only gonna want one button for the macro I'm gonna show you guys how to make, one button for Arcane Orb, the utility, which is like Cloak of Shadows, Bloodlust, Misdirection, Feign Death, Solar Beam. Those are really the only ones you really need. And then I have like a buff bar over here on the side with all the buffs you need. But for like the actual damaging spells like Fire Blast, Combustion, Deep Freeze, you don't even need them on your action bar. They're all included in this macro. So here's the macro, the infamous macro we've been spending so much time mentioning. I'll leave a copy of this in the description, but if you want to type it out yourself, you know, you can pause the video here and here's a good look at it. Other macros I like to use with this build are my CDs macro, which I have bound to R here. It's just /cast Arcane Power, which is a spell that comes with the build. And then use Warp Scarab Brooch, which is my trinket. If you don't have the Warp Scarab Brooch, just put whatever active trinket you need right there. Like if you have a Hex Shrunken Skull or whatever it is, you can link that /U space whatever trinket you got. And then when I click R here, you see it activates Arcane Power as well as my trinket. And then I also have like a misdirect add-on. So like you just basically set focus on your tank. Can I set focus on him? And then you, okay, well he's not a player, so I can't cast misdirection. But basically, since I have my focus set on him, even if I'm targeting something else, I'm not in a party, so I can't do it. Okay, what a terrible example. But with that cast at focus misdirection, you can set your focus to your tank, and then you can cast misdirection on him without having to target your tank. So that's pretty cool. Now that you got your 3-button action bar set up and you're fully buffed, we're going to go over the rotation. And it's a very easy rotation, like I said. All you're going to do is cast Arcane Orb off cooldown, and then you're going to kind of spam one, but there's like one caveat here, and that's these cooldowns. These cooldowns mean your meteors cannot happen while they're on cooldown, right? So you see I hit Frostbolt, which means the ice meteor head came, and now I can't get another one for a little bit. Something happens and sometimes the cooldowns go away. Couldn't really explain that one to you. Doesn't really matter because if you follow the 1-button macro, you're just going to cycle through them all anyway. So even if you do somehow reset the cooldown of a meteor, you're still going to cycle through the other 3 before you get back to that one. And it's not really like a DPS loss, right? Because you're still getting the maximum amount of meteors per GCD, right? So you want to avoid like the overlap. Like here, I'll give you an example here in a second. We'll just start spamming. So you see I just casted Frostbolt while that was on cooldown, so I did not get a meteor from it. You want to avoid that. So we'll go through it again. See how I didn't get a meteor for a minute there? We'll go bang, bang, bang. So the Frostbolt one's on cooldown, and now I can cast Frostbolt, but we're not gonna. We're gonna wait till that Frostbolt one goes away, then click it. Same with Fire Blast. We're not gonna click Fire Blast till the fire one is off cooldown. That's literally the only caveat here, guys, is if you guys can time it right, you'll maximize the efficiency of this build. Like, it's that simple. One more time. See, if Frostbolt's on cooldown, wait for it to go away. Then we hit Frostbolt, and the Ice Meteor will come. And even just spam clicking, giving an example, I was pulling almost 40k DPS, and I wasn't even proccing the meteors as fast as you guys will using this macro. Now we're going to go over the stat priority for the build, and I felt like busting out my inner pirate software, even though I have terrible handwriting. Your first stat prio is hit cap. Your second stat prio is 50% crit chance. And then after you get that, your next stat prio is literally just spell power. What does this mean? It means while you're gearing, you're going to go full intellect gear. You're going to go for full spell power int gear. You want spell power on your main hand and offhand weapon because, like, you know, hunters sometimes will put like agility in their offhand and attack power in the offhand, spell power in the main hand. We're not doing that. We're a dual wield melee spec, and you're going to be dual wielding spell power weapons. The goal of your build is to get hit cap because everybody hates missing. Then you want to get 50% crit cap because of the talents we have. You're going to be critting all the time pretty much. And then you just want spell power. Gem it, enchant it, like literally just go full spell power after that. There is a segment in this video where I will show you the list of some of the best in slot gear you guys can choose from. And that'll be later in the video. Boom, now it's later in the video. Here's a look at our best in slot list. Most of this you can actually buy in the middle of Shatwrath with your mythic tokens from clearing mythic dungeons from Edrim, Sky Song, or whatever his name is. The Death Knight looking human in the middle of Shatwrath, right? Most of this is purchasable from him, with some exceptions like the Justice Bringer 3000 specs and the Annihilator Hologogs. These are both engineering patterns that I'm assuming you would need engineering to get and use. And you may have to buy the recipes off the auction house to get them. I don't know because I'm not going to use it. Basically, your best in slot is going to be either the Tide Fury or the Oblivion set with some different off pieces that I'm assuming are all just like hit rating and crit rating pieces. Take this with a grain of salt because I have not achieved this best in slot. This is just something I have gotten from another guide, and it looks good. If you go look at the set bonuses for these, I could really see how this is close to best in slot, if not fully best in slot. So this is what you're aiming for. Again, most of this you can just buy from Edrim Skysong with your mythic tokens and upgrade it, or if you're lucky, just run high keys and get them to drop from those chests for you. While editing the video, I forgot to mention that if you hit C over here, you can see where your hit cap is. You can see that mine is 139. Yours may be higher or lower based off whether or not you have like hit rating mystic enchants and stuff. You know, you see right here 139 out of 392, meaning I'm not offhand hit cap. You're really only worried about 139 out of 139, but like I said, yours may be slightly different. And then I also have all of my stats over here, so you don't really have to like scroll through to find everything. It's all right here. You can see my spell bonus damage, you can see my hit rating, my crit chance, and everything over there. that's a really cool add-on you can get through the Ascension launcher called All Stats. You literally just launch Ascension like you're getting on the game, and then at the top you'll see an add-ons tab you can click, and from there you can get all sorts of stuff, like weak auras, auto turning quests, Bagnon, stuff like that. I would really recommend taking a look at that. Unfortunately, I don't have any weak auras that I can give for this build because I personally haven't made any, since tracking the rotation and the debuffs and stuff has been really easy for me. But if you want to get into learning weak auras, this is actually a really good build to practice with, I feel like, because just tracking the meteors should be fairly easy. I think that just about covers everything. I feel like I missed something, so if I did, or if you have questions, just ask in the comments and I will respond to you. Happy DPS pumping and good luck in those Mythic Plus and raid groups you join.